Thank you for joining us live with Miami's Community News. And we are here with a great guest who takes care of lots of animals and lots of families and keeping them together. Flora Beal, who is with the Miami-Dade County Animal Services.
Right? Always a pleasure to be here. And, it's not just me. There's a dedicated staff that is over at the shelter taking care of the animals on a daily basis, these pets that are waiting for their forever families. So just a reminder to everybody, since I have the opportunity to say, make adoption your only option and come down to the shelter. We've got so many amazing...
Make adoption your only option. That's very good.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're ready, we're going to show a video right over here.
Yes.
We're all searching for our perfect match. Come find your match at the 24-hour Mega Match-A-Thon Pet Adoption event. Find a pet that's as fit as you are, as centered as you are, as fierce as you are, as super as you are. There are so many reasons to make adoption your only option. Don't miss the 24-hour Mega Match-A-Thon starting Friday night, October 22nd at 11:59 p.m. at Tropical Park.
My goodness, the Mega Match-A-Thon. It starts tonight at midnight.
Tonight, we're so excited. The tents are up. The Ferris wheel is up. The food trucks are ready to get started. At midnight tonight, they will be starting. And we will have over 300 pets that are looking for their forever families, all sizes, all breeds, all ages. It really is one of our marquee events because at the end of the day, our goal is to get these pets into their families, their loving, caring families in the community that are going to make sure that they have the homes that they deserve.
So it seems to me in the last year or two, more people are coming here to our office with pets, including my adult son is walking in with, I don't know.
And I started a trend.
You did. He's in the back with a bowl of water and a bowl of food.
Yeah.
And the little doggy has a scarf around his neck.
Absolutely.
So yes, I see it frequently. First it'd be, no, you can't do that. All of a sudden people are bringing their pets in because they've made that one acceptable here. Two, you realize how much part of that family is. It's not like the old days, put Fido in the backyard and then feed him and let him run around.
Yeah, it's the community really has embraced the philosophy that your four-legged pets are members of your family. They're the four-legged family members. That it really is, where you go, they go. And it's about socializing them, training them to make sure that they're good out in the community. So we always recommend to people, make sure that you socialize your pets, that you show a certain level of discipline and training for your pets, because it's not just about giving them water and food every day. It's about enrichment, engagement, and just socializing them and really treating them like they're your family. And that's how we treat our pets.
So short story, you probably heard it before. About a year or so ago, this dog shows up on my front porch. I go, okay. So I give him some water and food. All right. And then he won't go away.
Yeah.
And so he's there all the time and wag his tail. And then finally one day I said, you know what? I got to go someplace. The dogs I left in the car started chasing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. And then I keep feeding water. And then finally one day I said, I'm calling everybody. Is this your dog? Nobody will take him. Nobody knows him. So I said, I'm going to go down the street and see if he follows me. Sure enough, he followed me, and about 20 seconds later, he went back home.
He went into his home.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. You gave him food.
Yes.
So he was like, oh, I get an extra meal every day if I go over here.
He did a very good job. Occasionally, I see pictures of him. So let's talk about some things that Animal Services is doing to connect people with and their pets. You have some transportation things you've been doing recently?
So, we receive about 30,000 animals every single year, and we have to rehome those pets. And unfortunately, the demand isn't as high in our local community as the supply of available adoptable pets that we have. So we often would, especially before COVID, we would be doing transports on a monthly basis, several of them, to send our pets into different communities where there's a higher demand, where they're going to have a better opportunity or better chances of finding their forever family. And we've started doing those transports again. We've done several over the past few months. And we just did a really great one. If you show some of the pictures of the plane with Wings of Rescue, FOMA helped us co-sponsor this. So our friends of Miami Animals Foundation, Yolanda Berkowitz and her team, helped us. And we were able to send 54 pets that were some long-term residents, some older pets, some medically needy pets, some small, some large. And you can really see how the effort happened here with Wings of Rescue, which is a nonprofit that has done over 90 flights just this year, to transport. And we all believe in the no-kill philosophy. So we only work with partners that also believe in no-kill because we are a no-kill shelter. So we were able to send these 54 pets to Canada, to one of our partners named the Dog Tails Rescue and Sanctuary. It's also a nonprofit no-kill facility, and they have about 50 acres of land up in Ontario, Canada, where these pets are going, and they're all adoptable, ready to go into new forever families, and they're going to be putting them into new homes.
So it seems as though different parts of the country and North America have a desire for different types of and sizes of dogs and cats. What are some dogs and cats down here that tend to be adopted faster?
So you always see, of course, everybody always wants the puppies because they want that puppy experience. They don't realize how much work it is, right? It's a lot of work. But a lot of people want the puppies. The puppies, when they go on the floor at the shelter, they go very, very quickly. And then also you have your smaller breeds. I think a lot of people live in apartments or have associations that have, different restrictions on the size of the pet. And so you see a lot of people coming in looking for smaller dogs. So our larger, medium-sized dogs, the ones that are terrier mixes, American bulldog mixes, those are the ones that tend to stay at the shelter for a very long time. We just sent a couple up that had been at the shelter since like February, March, May. So just a long time being overlooked by our local community. And so transporting them to other places is a great way to give them an opportunity to find a home. If you have places like Ontario where people have more of the large homes, they're looking for a larger breed dog, they're going to have a better opportunity of getting their forever family there than they have in the past several months that they've been waiting for their forever family at the Pet Adoption and Protection Center.
We all hope that COVID is in the rearview mirror, but we're still acutely aware of those things that are going on. But how did COVID affect adoptions of pets, and what is the effect today?
So initially, when COVID first came on, I think a lot of people were at home and they were looking for ways that they could do something in the community to kind of help out, do their part. And they were also looking, I think, for companionship and someone to entertain them during the day, and just keep them company. So we actually saw a lot of people who came in to foster and to adopt. So even though our pets basically were going out really, really quickly, even though there was a pandemic going on. So I think that was one of the pleasant surprises that we had as a result of the pandemic. And I know that there was a point at the shelter where we had less than 100 pets between cats and dogs that were available for adoption. Those numbers have slowly but surely crept back up. So, as people are out in the streets more, it just seems to be that we're finding more strays. We're finding than COVID, not then more than the pre-COVID. So we're back up to our pre-COVID numbers, which means that we have a really high population of pets that are looking for their forever families and waiting for the members of the community to make adoption their only option.
So years ago, I used to import birds and we would sell them wholesale and retail. So on the retail end, we would always see that, September through December, people would buy these birds. And come May, they'd actually bring them back because
Really?
they want to go on vacation, or the children are off to college or whatever it is. They don't want to have that. So I get that, how when people are doing other things where they would turn them in, if you will, or out, unfortunately.
Well, the good news for us is that we're not seeing a dramatic increase in returns of pets. Those people who did adopt during the pandemic, I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but those people who have adopted haven't really, the rate of the returns back to the shelter has not gone up considerably from previous years. So that's a pleasant, that's pleasant for us because we were expecting that we might see that COVID might actually, when people went back to work, that people would start bringing their pets in, and we've seen that they've actually accepted them into their families and decided to keep them. So that's great.
If you know approximately what percentage of animals that are picked up by the animal service people
Mhm.
are have chips in them, more or less.
So that's a really good point to bring up. I don't know off the top of my head what percentage, but certainly not enough. And so we remind the community every opportunity that we get that there are ways that you can help lower the number of pets that are waiting and that are looking for forever families, because there are things that you can do to make sure that you don't lose your pet, or that your pet doesn't become one of those pets that is, at the pet adoption and protection center. So the first thing that you need to do is sterilize your pets. I mean, you don't want those unwanted litters of puppies and kittens and that end up at the shelter because they need homes, right? And we've already got a supply. This is just adding additional pets that we need to find homes for. So first of all, sterilize your pets. It's really important. It's good for their health. It also helps with behaviors in the home, like marking territory and so many other things. It reduces the chances of certain types of cancers. We know so many families that lose their pets to cancer, and sterilizing can be one of those ways that you can prevent your pet from getting certain types of cancer.
And so there's mostly men that say, if I fix my big Rottweiler, that he's not going to be as aggressive. There's some truths to that. So tell us about that.
So there is some truth to the fact that their behavior is going to change somewhat, but it's actually healthier for them. And you don't want your pet to be overly aggressive either, right? But it also helps to make sure that they're not going to get out of your yard because they're chasing the scent of a female dog, right? They're for lack of a better way to put it, their sex drive is going to go down a little bit, right? So that's actually a good thing. And it's going to prevent different types of cancers. And it's going to actually, the marking, the territory marking, all those kinds of things are going to go down. So it's actually a great thing for your pet. But let's go back to the microchipping, because I think that it's really important for the community to know that, for as little as $15, you can get your pet microchipped. And for whatever reason, they don't have their collar on, their ID tags fall off, something happens, and your pet does get out of your yard, does leave the home. The quickest way that you're going to be able to be reunited with your pet is if they have that microchip, because our animal welfare officers, first thing they do when they find a stray pet in the community is scan for that microchip. And if your information is registered and we can pull it up, we're just going to give you a call, and the pet doesn't even come to the Pet Adoption and Protection Center. They'll deliver him straight to your front door.
And that's great. And just so people know, they can change the content of the chip. So if you move or whatever it is, you can put that in there.
Absolutely. So critical. So if we have a phone number from 10 years ago that is disconnected, no longer there, you've moved, you're not at the same address, how are we going to contact you? So you've really got to make sure that you keep that information for your tag, for the tag company, and that you update that information whenever your contact information changes. If the owner changes, you have a family member that unfortunately doesn't have the pet anymore for whatever reason, update the owner information, phone number, address, everything, so that we can make sure that we can get a hold of you as quickly as possible and return that pet for you so that they don't come to the shelter at all.
So people need to get the dogs. I'm afraid to say the word vaccinated or shots. What are they called?
Vaccines. Yeah, vaccines.
Okay, to get vaccinated. They're chipped. All right. They're fixed.
Yes.
All right. And then when you're out with your dog, you are 100% responsible for that pet. So when you let him off to run around, just know that you're responsible.
Well, so that's an interesting point that you bring up. So there are leash laws in Miami-Dade County, which basically state that your pet, whenever in any kind of public area, unless it is specifically enclosed and specifically dedicated to or authorized to have off-leash pets, your pet has to be on a leash. And not only does your pet have to be on a leash, like you can't just be like, oh, he's got his leash on, let me drop it and he'll just walk around and sniff. No, you have to have control of that leash of that pet, because you are responsible. And here's the thing. It could happen to anybody. It could be the most well-behaved pet that all of a sudden something triggers them. And the next thing you know, you have some, calamity, some tragedy happen, and you end up being responsible for something.
You can see I've been watching reruns of Judge Judy. All right. And so there are collars that are made for pets that are more than just the collar here. They include their legs in them or around the chest.
Harnesses.
The
harnesses.
Which is like, if you're going to do it, all right, you don't want to choke your dog to death with the choke collars, all right? We used to have 2 Rottweilers, 2 middle ones, and then 2 Jack Russells. The runt Jack Russell ran the house, all right? So
that often happens, believe
right,
it or not.
Yeah, I know. So I have family members like that. Sorry.
Is it called Napoleon syndrome or something like that?
So you have to have your dog on a leash and be in control of that.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And you never know how pets, obviously, how they're going to act in the presence of other pets. But amazingly enough, when you go to a dog park, you have these random pets next to each other, and they seem to get it. They're not fighting each other. They seem to be.
No.
It's something that they know, right?
Well, it's innate because they are pack animals, but it also has to be taught. So it's a good mixture of both. Because if you have a pet that you haven't properly socialized as a puppy, or even if you got them as an adult and you haven't properly socialized, they're not going to know how to behave around other pets, and you might see that aggression or defensiveness, which is sometimes mistaken for aggression, but it's just they're afraid because they don't know how to behave. So socializing is so important.
And some people don't like to what's called crate their dogs, but let's look at it realistically. As human beings, we go into buildings, we feel a little uncomfortable. We go into a bathroom, you feel comfortable. You go into your bedroom, and that's your place over there. And pets like that as well. Snakes do. Every animal does that, right?
Yeah. So think of the
place.
crate as your pet's, your dog's personal bedroom, right? That's their comfort zone. When they don't want to be bothered with you or anybody else in the house, they're going to go in there and they're just going to lay down and chill. And it's a good thing to do, because should you ever have to travel, evacuate, go to an evacuation shelter during a hurricane, those pets are going to have to be crated, and you don't want to add the extra stress of being in a crate when they're not familiar with it.
If your dog gets out and then the guy picks him up and puts him in this metal crate for a while, right? You don't want him to have too much anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when we look at pets, which they're four-legged people, all right? We see it, all right? And we are delighted to be able to help Miami-Dade County, all right?
Thank you.
In sharing the good work that you and the whole team done. I've been fortunate to meet maybe a half a dozen or 10 over the months. I hope next time you come, you bring another pet so we can try to find a forever home, for them. So when we look at the dogs that are barking behind a fence, you're walking there doing that. That's sort of instinctive for them to do that, to protect their area. So one of the things I've recognized is we used to have import a lot of animals. If you have a bird in a cage and you want him to come out, when you stick your hand in that cage, you better be careful, because that guy is going to bite you, right? And the other part is they're also looking for something to get on so they don't fall. So when you put your hand out, they put their beak there and you pull it away, they are going to hold on to it, right? And there's others that are going to bite you to keep you away. Right? And so when you crate your dog, that's their home. Open the door and he'll come out all by himself.
Yeah, you don't have to force them in. You don't have to force them out. I mean, there's different techniques that you can use when you're first starting to train them, so that they associate it with something positive, not something negative, right? And that's just the key of it. It needs to be a positive, calming place that they can go to when they want a little bit of calm and peace in their life.
And I think that's when you think about what we do when we want to be calm. We go to the park. Maybe we'll meditate. Maybe we'll go sit in your favorite chair. Maybe just go meditate, whatever it is. So we have to allow for our four-legged friends to be able to do that and get away, for a while. So we have one outside cat that we know of, plus the other 5 that are still. And we put out food and we're feeding the neighborhood, but it's in the okay range. But we have a special place for the cat to go when he gets really nervous, all right?
Right.
And we just took this place, and he's on. If I'm looking for him, oh, there he is over there. And so we give them spaces, and so the size of the crate for a small dog. How much is a dog? Like it's 8 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe?
You're carrying like a 15-pounder right there. 8 pounds is like,
Okay, all right. So they need it can't be like this little tiny thing. It needs to be size appropriate.
So it does need to be the right size for your pet. Your pet should be able to stand up comfortably, fully stand up, and be able to turn around and get themselves comfortable within that crate, have a little bit of space for them. You don't want them to be in a crate where they can't stand up or change positions or move around, rotate. You want them to have enough space.
Let's talk about donations, all right? If somebody wants to donate money or product to animal services, what can they do?
So go to Miami-Dade let me say animals.miamidade.gov, animals.miamidade.gov. You can make your donation there. You can also go to Amazon and purchase items. We're always looking for dog beds, especially large dog beds. We are always looking for enrichment and toys, right? So the Kongs and the bones, the chew bones, etc., treats. Believe it or not, Vienna sausages. Those the little canned ones, because they're great to give them their medications if they're on medications. They're great little treats for training as well. And we're always looking for just different donations, different ways that you can help. We do have a list on the website that the different things that we're looking for, and you can always make a monetary donation on the website as well. And every little bit helps, because 30,000 pets is a lot of pets to look after every year.
And it's a great feeling to be able to give like that. They could do it anonymously, right?
Yes.
And they could, if and we got a few minutes left, they could, if you have stuff that you want to bring, they could put it into a nice bag or something, take it and drop it up over there. We like to participate and help people give to whatever they would like to do, right? And on whatever level. I do want to share a story that I wrote about as I was pulling up to a stoplight. There was a homeless guy. I see him coming, and I wrote about this whole thing. Here he comes. What am I going to do? Am I going to give him money? Am I going to tell him to stay away? Am I going to give him change? Am I going to have to touch him? What about if I reach into my pocket and whatever money is there, a 1, a 5, a 10, a 20, 100, will you do that? All right. And I'm having all these conversations. This is going to connect to giving. And as I'm writing this story, which I published, I ended it with, oh, the light just turned green. On to the next lesson. So one of the lessons I learned is to be able to understand our hesitancy, but our desire to help others. I want people to help some of these animals that are there, that were somebody's pet at some point. I mean, they weren't born on the street and spend their whole lives on the street. Yeah. They're somebody's pet, and they do want to be next to and with people. Right?
They do. They all just want someone to love them and someone to love. So they are amazing pets that are more than willing to bond to your family and care for your family. And they're so loyal and thankful once they do get their forever home. So I just want to remind everybody to come out to the Mega Match-A-Thon, because
it's tonight, Tropical Park.
It's tonight, starting at midnight at Tropical Park. And we are going to have more than 300 pets that are available for adoption, all breeds, all sizes, all ages. There's going to be live entertainment. There's going to be yoga at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. There's going to be some performances from School of Rock. I mean, the list goes on and on. Miami Food Trucks is going to be out there with all kinds of yummy food trucks for the family. There's going to be a Ferris wheel. There's a kids play zone area. So there's going to be a lot for the family to do. If you already have a pet in your home and you just want to come out and support, you can do that just by engaging in the activities and coming out and supporting the event. And just remind everybody that there are so many different things that you can do to make sure that you're helping the pets in our community.
That's terrific.
Yeah, let's do that commercial one more time, just
okay.
to give them all of the details on the Mega Match-A-Thon. And yes, so now, we don't have it up. Okay, not a problem.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be at 11:59 Tropical Park tonight, starting, and it'll run for an entire 24 hours. And it's the best way to everybody's always looking for their soulmates, right? We're always looking at, you're my perfect match, but you're already taken. So, but you can come and find your perfect match at the Mega Match-A-Thon.
And they can leave with their pet.
And they can leave with their pet that night. Yeah. And we'll be doing a couple of posts on social media, and you can take a picture there. We have goodie bags from PetSmart, who's going to be out there. We're going to have, I think Revolution Radio might be out there as well, DJing. So just a really fun community event.
Somebody could bring what do they call it, where they put the baby or the pet in here? The little
pouches?
Bring the pouch with you. And when Flora sees you out there with the pouch, run, because she's going to be tagging you and bring you into a pet that you're going to love. Flora
Absolutely.
Beal. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Hey, again, adopt a pet. And what's the rest of it?
Make adoption your only option.
There you go. Flora Beal with the Miami-Dade Animal Services. Thank you very much for being here and for what you do.
Thank you.
Andres, thank you. And folks, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.